At 2:47 a.m. last Tuesday, my phone rang. It was Margaret, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Michigan, calling from the emergency room. "Doctor," she whispered, her voice shaking, "they're saying I had a mini-stroke, but I've been taking my blood pressure pills every day. I don't understand what happened." What I discovered in the following weeks broke my heart and opened my eyes to a dangerous truth that's threatening millions of American seniors right now. Margaret wasn't just taking her medication. She was doing 7 other things every single day that were quietly, invisibly pushing her blood pressure higher. Things her doctor never mentioned, things that seem completely harmless, things that you're probably doing right now too. You know that morning ritual we all love? The quiet cup of coffee as you read the paper, the warm comfort that starts your day? For Margaret, that innocent morning habit was a ticking time bomb. "I only have 2 cups, she told me, confused why I was asking about her coffee. "Sometimes 3 if I'm really tired. My mother drank coffee her whole life and lived to 94. But here's what Margaret didn't know, what 8 out of 10 American seniors don't realize. As we age, our bodies process caffeine completely differently than they did at 40 or 50. That same cup of coffee that used to give you a gentle energy boost, at 65 it can spike your blood pressure for hours. Your heart races, your blood vessels constrict. And because you can't feel it happening, you have no idea your body is under attack. Margaret's harmless coffee habit was adding 15-20 points to her blood pressure every morning. For someone already managing hypertension, that was enough to trigger the stroke that landed her in the ER. Let me ask you something, and please be honest with me. What did you have for breakfast this morning? If you're like most American seniors I work with, it was probably something heart-healthy. Maybe whole grain cereal with skim milk, perhaps toast with margarine, maybe even oatmeal. The breakfast doctors have been recommending for decades. But here's the shocking truth that's going to upset everything you've been told. That healthy breakfast is loaded with hidden sodium. 1 bowl of seemingly innocent cereal contains more salt than your body should have in an entire day. Dorothy, an 83-year-old grandmother from Ohio, came to me with blood pressure readings that terrified her family. 180, 110, dangerous levels that put her at immediate risk for heart attack or stroke. "I eat so carefully," she insisted, tears in her eyes. "I buy everything low-fat, low cholesterol. I follow the diet my doctor gave me perfectly." When we went through Dorothy's kitchen together, I was heartbroken by what I found. Her cabinets were full of healthy foods that were actually salt bombs in disguise. Her whole grain bread, 300 milliliters of sodium per slice. Her heart-healthy soup, 890 milliliters in 1 small can. Her low-fat salad dressing, 240 milliliters per tablespoon. Even her morning oatmeal packets, 160 milliliters each. Dorothy was consuming over 3,000 milliliters of sodium daily, while thinking she was eating a heart-healthy diet. The medication mistake that nearly killed my neighbor. Let me tell you about Frank, my 78-year-old neighbor here in Florida. Frank was a mechanic for 45 years, a practical, no-nonsense man who took pride in fixing things properly. But when it came to his blood pressure medication, Frank was making a mistake that could have cost him his life. "I don't like depending on these pills," he told me one afternoon as we chatted over the fence. "So when I feel good, I skip a day or 2. When I feel bad, I take an extra one to catch up." My heart sank. Frank had no idea he was playing Russian roulette with his cardiovascular system. Blood pressure medications aren't like aspirin for a headache. They work by maintaining steady levels in your bloodstream. When you skip doses, your blood pressure doesn't just return to baseline, it often spikes higher than before, putting enormous strain on your heart and arteries. 3 weeks after our conversation, Frank collapsed in his driveway while working on his car. The ambulance rushed him to the hospital with blood pressure readings of 210/130, stroke territory. The doctors said if his wife hadn't found him when she did, he might not have made it. The hidden stress that's destroying your heart. Here's something most doctors won't tell you. Something I learned from working with thousands of seniors over the past 30 years. The biggest blood pressure threat for American seniors isn't what you eat or how much you exercise. It's the quiet, constant stress of aging in America. The stress of watching your savings disappear to medical bills. The stress of losing friends and family members. The stress of feeling like a burden to your adult children. The stress of losing your independence, your driving privileges, your sense of purpose. Eleanor, a 69-year-old widow from Texas, had perfect blood pressure her entire life. Then her husband passed away suddenly, and within 6 months, her readings were through the roof. "I don't understand," she sobbed in my office. "I'm eating the same foods, taking the same walks, but my blood pressure is higher than it's ever been." Eleanor's body was carrying the weight of grief, loneliness, and fear about her future. That emotional stress was literally breaking her heart. But here's what gave me hope. And what should give you hope too. When we addressed Eleanor's stress through simple daily practices, not expensive therapy or complicated treatments, her blood pressure normalized within 2 months. The exercise trap that's backfiring on seniors. "I know I should exercise more," James told me, guilt heavy in his voice. "But these old knees can't handle what they used to. I feel like I'm failing at everything." James, like so many American seniors, was caught in a cruel trap. His doctor told him to exercise for his blood pressure. His body told him it hurt too much to move. So he did nothing and felt guilty about it every single day. That guilt and frustration, it was raising his blood pressure more than his lack of exercise. But here's what I discovered working with James. You don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights to control your blood pressure. You just need to move regularly, gently, and consistently. James started with 5 minutes of walking around his living room while watching the morning news. Just 5 minutes. Within a week, his blood pressure dropped 8 points. Within a month, he was walking around his neighborhood, chatting with neighbors he hadn't seen in years. The movement helped his blood pressure. But the social connection? That helped his soul. Here's a question that might make you uncomfortable, but I need to ask it. When was the last time you checked your blood pressure at home? If you're like most seniors I meet, you probably said something like, "Well, they check it at the doctor's office," or "I don't want to worry about it every day." But here's what that means. You're flying blind 364 days a year. Blood pressure isn't like height or weight, something that stays relatively stable. It changes throughout the day based on what you eat, how you sleep, what stresses you face, even what the weather is doing. That single reading at your doctor's office, it's like judging a movie by watching one scene. You're missing the whole story. Robert, a 74-year-old retired postal worker from Arizona, learned this lesson the hard way. His doctor's office readings were always borderline, around 135/85. Not perfect, but not panic-worthy either. But when Robert finally bought a home monitor, he discovered his morning readings were regularly spiking to 170/95, dangerous levels that put him at immediate risk for heart attack or stroke. "I had no idea," he told me, visibly shaken. "All those mornings I felt a little dizzy, a little off. I thought it was just getting old." Robert's home monitoring literally saved his life. His doctor was able to adjust his medication based on the real picture of his blood pressure patterns, not just a single snapshot. The alcohol connection nobody talks about. Let me share something with you that might be hard to hear, especially if you're someone who enjoys a glass of wine with dinner or a beer while watching the game. Martha was 71, a retired librarian who prided herself on living a healthy lifestyle. She ate her vegetables, took her vitamins, and walked every day. But her blood pressure kept climbing despite her best efforts. "I don't understand it," she confided to me. "I do everything right. I only have 1 glass of wine with dinner, just like they say is good for your heart." That 1 glass of wine? It was actually 2 generous pours from her large wine glasses. And that heart-healthy habit was adding 10 to 15 points to her blood pressure every single night. As we age, our bodies process alcohol differently. What used to be a relaxing end to the day becomes a strain on your cardiovascular system. Your liver works harder, your blood vessels constrict, your blood pressure rises. When Martha switched to sparkling water with a splash of grape juice for her evening ritual, her blood pressure dropped 12 points within 3 weeks. She kept the ritual, lost the risk. The communication crisis, putting seniors at risk. Here's the most heartbreaking mistake I see, and it happens in doctors' offices across America every single day. Seniors who don't speak up about their symptoms, their concerns, or their confusion about their treatment. "I didn't want to bother the doctor," Helen told me after her blood pressure crisis landed her in the hospital. "He's so busy, and I know there are sicker people than me." Helen had been experiencing dizziness, fatigue, and chest tightness for weeks. But she suffered in silence because she didn't want to seem like a complainer. That silence nearly killed her. Your doctor isn't a mind reader. They can't help with symptoms they don't know about. They can't adjust medications that seem to be working based on limited information. They can't protect you from problems you don't mention. Your voice, your concerns, your daily experience, these aren't bothering your doctor. They're helping them save your life. The weight of worry. Let me be honest with you about something. Being a senior in America today is scary. Healthcare costs are skyrocketing. Family members are busy with their own lives. The world feels like it's changing too fast to keep up with. And all of that worry, all of that fear about the future, about being a burden, about losing your independence, it's literally breaking your heart. Chronic stress is one of the biggest contributors to high blood pressure in American seniors. Not just the big stressful events, but the daily weight of uncertainty, loneliness, and fear. But here's what I want you to understand. You're not alone in feeling this way, and you don't have to carry this burden by yourself. Simple stress reduction techniques, things as basic as deep breathing for 5 minutes each morning, or calling a friend once a day, or even just sitting outside for a few minutes, can have profound effects on your blood pressure. I've been working with seniors for over 30 years, and I want to share something with you that I've learned from watching thousands of people reclaim their health. It's never too late to take control of your blood pressure. Never. I've seen 85-year-olds reverse decades of hypertension with simple lifestyle changes. I've watched people in their 80s reduce their medication needs by making small, consistent adjustments to their daily routines. Your age isn't a limitation, it's an advantage. You have wisdom, experience, and the motivation that comes from understanding how precious your health really is. The beautiful thing about blood pressure is that small changes create big results. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You just need to make a few strategic adjustments. Start with one change this week. Check your blood pressure at home once a day. Read the sodium content on 3 foods in your pantry. Take your medication at the exact same time every day. Spend 5 minutes doing deep breathing. Call your doctor if you have any concerns. That's it. Just one small change. Next week, add another. The week after, one more. Before you know it, you'll have created a lifestyle that supports healthy blood pressure. Instead of fighting against it, I need you to understand something that I tell every senior I work with. Your life matters, your health matters, your comfort and well-being matter. You're not just getting old. You're not too set in your ways to change. You're not too much trouble for your doctor or your family. You're a human being who deserves to feel strong, healthy, and confident about your future. You deserve to wake up each morning with energy instead of worry. You deserve to live without the constant fear of the next health crisis. And you have more power over your blood pressure than you realize. I'm curious, where are you joining us from today? Are you watching from the mountains of Colorado, the beaches of Florida, the farmlands of Iowa, or maybe from a cozy apartment in New York City? Drop a comment below and let me know what state you're calling home. I love connecting with our community members and hearing about your experiences. Whether you're dealing with blood pressure concerns yourself or you're worried about a spouse or parent, Please know that you're not alone in this journey. We're here to support each other, to share what works, and to celebrate every small victory along the way. Your blood pressure doesn't have to be a source of fear and anxiety. It can be something you understand, monitor, and control. Start today. Start small, but start. Check your medicine cabinet and make sure you're taking your medication consistently. Look at the sodium content in your pantry and choose one high-sodium food to replace. Consider buying a simple blood pressure monitor so you can track your numbers at home. Most importantly, talk to your doctor. Share your concerns, your symptoms, your daily routine. Give them the information they need to help you live your healthiest life. Remember, managing blood pressure isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Every small step you take is a victory worth celebrating. Your heart is counting on you, your family is cheering you on, and your future self will thank you for the care you show yourself today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more senior health tips that can make a real difference in your daily life. And please share this video with someone who might benefit from this information. Together we can help more American seniors take control of their health and live with confidence. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and remember, your best days can still be ahead of you.